Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about the transition from being a Kansas girl to a Arizona girl. I was born and raised in Kansas. I lived overseas for 2 years. My dad was in the military, and then we lived in Wisconsin for about a year. I moved there with my dad for about a year, and then pretty much primarily lived in Kansas. Um, I went to high school, elementary school, pretty much everything was in Kansas. I met my boyfriend working at Taco Bell in Kansas. We were together for about 6-ish months, and then I got pregnant. It wasn't planned or anything. It had just happened, and so we were saving up. We were gonna move before my birthday, but we weren't. We didn't know I was pregnant at that time, and then we saved up, and we moved out of Kansas about mid-April, and then we moved to Arizona. Kansas, it's pretty much humid there all the time, year round. It is freezing cold there during the wintertime, but it doesn't snow as much as people say it does. At least where I was at, didn't snow hardly at all. And then in Arizona, it's never cold enough for it to snow or stick, at least. If it does snow, it doesn't stay. It pretty much melts pretty quickly. There's only a couple places in Arizona that actually snow. I've never actually been there myself, but I've been told that it's like Flagstaff and stuff like that snow. Sorry. I apologize about that. Yeah, Kansas is pretty much the complete opposite of Arizona. If it does get to 100 degrees in the summertime, it's still a lot more mild than it is in Arizona. It can get up to honestly, the triple digits all throughout the summer. There's a rare occasion where it's like in the 90s, but pretty much primarily it's always in the hundreds. Like it can get from 105 to 112, and depending on where you work, and get way hotter than that. But it's actually funny because when I moved to Arizona, it was like the start of the summer when I moved here pregnant. Constant heat. I couldn't go out as much because it was so hot. Now, if I was in Kansas, it would just be the humidity that would kill me. But the heat just drains you straight up. I couldn't handle it. I was inside most of the time, and when I did go outside, it was pretty much during the nighttime where it was like 80 degrees during the night, maybe even low 90s. And now that I'm not pregnant living in Arizona, it's completely changed for me. Like, I can go out when it's hot. It's not as bad. It's not as draining on me. And now that it's wintertime, it's like between the 60s and 70s. And it's usually only when it's raining when it's really cold. For those of you not knowing, my son's asleep. So I'm trying to get this YouTube up while he's asleep so I can get it done and upload it to you guys. I'm going to try and upload more frequently. I'm going to try and do it every Tuesday and Thursday, if not more, or depending, because I'm going to try and get a job here soon. I have an interview on Sunday for Sprouts, so we'll see how that goes. It's definitely been hard being away from Kansas. Not specifically from the state itself, but my family, my friends, they're all in Kansas. My best friends are all in Kansas. And it's just hard being away, especially during the holidays this year. Having a almost 4-month-old who will be 4 months old on the 16th of December. Will be 4 months on the December 16th. It's been difficult because I'm not gonna be able to see any of my family, any of my friends. The only family that I will get to primarily see during this time of year this year is really just gonna be my boyfriend's side of the family. His mom, his best friend's wife, his cousins, his family. I do talk to my family pretty consistently all the time. My sisters, I text them, I video chat them all the time. My mom, I call her as often as I can. She works all the time. My dad, I text him quite often. My grandma, I try and text her as much. And I try and call them as much as well. But I do slack on that, I do admit. I haven't been the best. My cleaning has been pretty crappy too. I'm trying to just get everything straightened up and cleaned up before Christmas time. But, because of postpartum, I do blame that. I don't mean to blame it, but it is primarily where I lack my motivation most. But I'm excited to be able to spend this first Christmas with my boyfriend and his mom, his family, to get to know their family a lot better. And for them to get to know Leon. But next year I'm going to try and go home to see my mom, my sisters, my dad, my grandma, all of them, so that they can also get to know their grandchild, their nephew, their great grandson, those kind of things. And for my best friends to get to know him and to get close to him. 2 in particular, I can't wait to get closer to him. One's actually already met him, and I'm so happy because we had the best weekend in October. We went to a haunted house. We went to dinner. Went to a movie. These things are a lot better here, personally, than they are in Kansas. Our town was so small, we didn't have a lot of food options. We didn't have a lot of movie options. We could either go to somewhere in the middle of nowhere, 15 minutes away, or we can go to a city that's like 45 minutes to an hour away. And there's not a whole lot of options. It was really small. It was like I'm going to guess an estimate of a population of about 1,200. But I'm not sure if it's even that big or if it's even that small. But it's really tiny. I'm going to try and go home. I'm trying to go home in March, back to Kansas for was going to be a week, but might end up being 2 weeks. Get to spend some more time with my mom, my sisters, my dad, my grandmas, my best friends. And being away from my boyfriend, it's going to be very difficult. But I know I can do it because we've done it before. We've gone weeks without seeing each other. I apologize. This video is supposed to be between going back and forth to Kansas and Arizona, which I am. There's a lot more to do in Arizona than there is in Kansas. That's for sure. There is a zoo in Kansas, at least an hour and a half away from where I lived. There is movies. There's a bunch of stores. There's fast food restaurants. There's a couple restaurants. There's about 3 parks. There was a fairgrounds. There was like there was about like four tiny cities or towns that surrounded where I was at. And they're all equally as small. And like the closest to the bigger of the cities was on the... Okay, so here I am. This is an example. So there was one up here, which is the hour and a half-ish one. Hour, 45 minutes one. And down here is another one that's in Oklahoma. That was the only other, like, 2 big major, like, cities. And then there was 2 smaller ones. So, now in Arizona, there's all sorts of cities. There's Phoenix, there's Scottsdale, there's Deer Valley, which is in Phoenix. There's Flagstaff, there's... then you have all, like, the individual roads that lead to different, like, parts of town. There's downtown Phoenix, there's West Phoenix, North Phoenix, there's East Phoenix, all of those areas. There's Fountain Hills. I've only been there once with my dad when he was here back in beginning of October. I went there with my grandma and my dad. This is who the baby was born then. So we went with the baby, and that was fun. And then we went to the state fair. The state fair here versus in Kansas. The one in Hutchinson, Kansas. I'm believing it's the Kansas State Fair. I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. And then there's a Phoenix State Fair. Somewhere. The Phoenix one's a lot bigger than the Kansas one. That's for sure. I'm going to cut this video short. Alright. I'm going to cut this video right here. Please like and subscribe, and please share my videos to help increase my subscriber list. Thanks for watching, and have a good holidays.